Greetings, everybody. How you doing tonight? I went to the supermarket today, and I went to the ATM to get some cash. And I talked about this last year, and it happened again. So I wanted to put this information out there while it was still fresh in my brain. This does not happen to me when I go to China. It does not happen to me when I go to other countries. But for some reason, coming to Mexico the last 2 years, when you go to the tourist areas and you go to an ATM, the banks are trying to pull a fast one over people who don't know any better and are trying to collect an extra 5 to 10% in commission on the money. So let me explain what happens. Basically, when you go to a foreign country, the best exchange rate you're going to get is at an ATM. And so I recommend anybody who travels, you have an ATM card that is two things. Number one, it does not have any fees associated with it, like an ATM fee. So when you stick an ATM card in and it says, we're going to charge you $5 to use this out of network, okay, the card I have through Charles Schwab, it pays me back those fees at the end of the month. So in essence, they're free. And I believe there are other banks who offer something similar. The other thing that's very important for a card is a card that will not charge you foreign transaction fees. So if you withdraw the equivalent of $100, if a bank like American Express is a big one, American Express will charge you 3%. Some banks charge up to 5%. So that means you're paying an extra $3 or $5 for every $100 that you spend. So again, it's not that they are deal breakers per se, as far as it's not going to wipe you out, but it's what I call a nuisance charge. So if you spend a few $1,000s, before you know it, you've spent a couple $100 in bank charges, and it's just a waste of money. Would have been better spent on something else. So what specifically happens when you come to Mexico in the tourist areas is you'll go to an ATM, you'll stick your card in, you'll enter your password, identify the account you want to take and how much. And then it will come up and it will say, we charge you a $3, well, they'll say, we charge you like a 30 peso charge. Are you okay with this? And you say yes. Okay. Then the next thing comes up before it gives you the cash, or right before it gives you the cash, it will say, so-and-so bank, this is the exchange rate that we're offering. Now, the exchange rate today is approximately 20 pesos for $1. This bank today, their ATM offered a rate of 18.45. So that's approximately 8% less. So the bank was going to collect 8% commission for nothing. ATMs are supposed to use the foreign transaction fee. So basically, it's roughly 20 pesos for $1. That's what they should be charging. And if they want to charge extra fees, then they should say so. But this is how they try to be clever. Because what happens is most people, they're like, oh my God, I have to say yes. Otherwise, I can't get money, and I need money because I have to pay the bills. Because most people wait to get cash until they absolutely need it. And that's a mistake, because if you wait until you need cash, what happens if an ATM is down? Or what happens if your bank card isn't working that day? You should always be taking money out while you still have a reserve of cash left. Okay, so the way you get around this trick by the banks is, so they'll come up, they'll be like, our exchange rate is 18.5. Do you accept it or do you reject it? Always hit reject. Because what will happen is you'll still get your cash, and they will give you the exchange rate of the day. So today I got that. I came back, I checked the bank to make sure that there wasn't any funny business, and sure enough, I got an exchange rate of 20 to 1. And so, very important. Do not let fear or intimidation of not knowing what you're doing in a foreign country stop you. Even if there's people in line behind you, take the time to read this and think through what they're asking you. Okay? So, all these ATMs are going to charge you a bank fee. In Mexico, they call it an IVA, some sort of tax. That you're going to have to accept. Okay? And that gets refunded by my bank. And if you have the appropriate ATM card, your bank will refund it as well. And then when it starts telling you that they're going to give you a different exchange rate, that's when you basically tell them to go pound sand and you click decline, okay? And then you get your money. Now, I did want to just, since we were on the topic, the other thing I see down here, which I want to pull my hair out when I see this, is I see people down here paying in American dollars. They use US dollars to pay their bills down here. That is the worst thing you can do because they're probably getting an exchange rate of 15 to 1, maybe even 10 to 1. Because what will happen is you'll be like, how much is the bill? And it will be in pesos and they don't want to calculate it. They're like, how much is it in US dollars? And of course, the restaurant or the bar is going to give you an astronomical rate. So never pay in US dollars. Never, ever get cash from an airport. You know, the exchange rate at the airports, those booths, you will get shellacked. Never, ever get rates. The only time I've ever used that type of thing, and I never used them, I actually went to a bank in Japan, is I had a bunch of Japanese yen, and I was going over to Korea. And I thought it would be kind of stupid to hold on to the yen since I wasn't going back to Japan. So I went into the bank, and I had them convert the yen to the won, to the Korean won. And that was a lot easier than going to an ATM when I got to Korea and just taking out won there. So I'm sure that I did not get the best rate, but it didn't matter because the yen were going to be dead. Okay, so the other thing people do is they'll bring dollars with them and then they'll go to a bank and they'll get them exchanged at a bank. Then you got to wait in line. And then with the FATCA rules going into effect, it's not the quickest. It's not the quickest way to convert your money. Now they will probably give you the current exchange rate, but ATM is by far the best way to get currency in a country, a local currency. You just have to make sure that it's at an ATM that is not trying to rip you off, like I just explained. The other thing when you go to a foreign country, you should have definitely one ATM card that doesn't charge bank fees, doesn't charge foreign transaction fees. You should have two of them if possible in case one of them stops working. You should also have a credit card, preferably two credit cards that do not charge foreign transaction fees. There are several banks that do it. All of Capital One's credit cards do not charge foreign transaction fees. In addition, you do not want to pay an annual fee. So get a no annual fee credit card, and then this thing is not charging you fees in any way, okay? And that's pretty much everything that I wanted to One last thing. Down in Mexico, and probably when you go to Canada as well, is many times you will get a bill at a hotel, at a restaurant, and they will ask you, do you want to pay in US dollars or do you want to pay in local currency? Always pay in local currency, because if you pay in US dollars, they will do their transaction rate conversion, and then your bank will do it. So you're basically paying a double bank charge, okay? So that's all I wanted to say while I'm thinking about it. So I hope everybody's having a great day. And if you have any questions, leave them down below, okay? Thank you.